Okay.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Sharp Angle Syndicate Sharp Show. And you may have noticed we've sharpened a few things up on the website at sharpanglesyndicate.com. That's right, new and improved. Our commitment to you: better, bigger, more wins, bigger bankroll. That's what we're going to do for you. All right, I'm just Ryan Hyatt. Think of me as the tour director. I'm Julie on the Love Boat. We got shuffleboard on the Lido deck, and we got great picks on the Promenade deck down there in New Orleans. That's Stevie Shrimp. He knows where all the good places are to eat. He might even tell you if you're nice enough. And then Smitty Bucks, who has to watch far too many Pittsburgh Steeler games, I think, for any one human being. He's done 17 shows today. Congratulations, Smitty. Show number 18. Boys, how's everybody doing? It's been a hot few days since we got everybody together here in Sharp Angle Land.
Yeah, Ryan, everything's good on my neck of the woods. We're just trying to get the site back rolling, and we should be up and running hopefully. So Friday, that's the goal.
That's the goal. That's when we're going to be there.
It's good to see you guys. I'm excited to be back here, and I do agree. It is very hard to watch the Pittsburgh Steelers for 3 hours every Sunday. But we're winning some games. Let's see what happens this weekend.
There's a rumor that Mike Tomlin has never had a losing season as a head coach. I don't know if that's been verified yet, but I've heard that a couple of different places.
I've heard it too. I've heard it. So it's out there.
We've got a big week in college football. These numbers continue to get tight, and value gets tougher to find, but that's our commitment to you guys with the Sharp Angle Syndicate. We'll start off, Smitty. I know you've got a couple of things you were talking about earlier today. Let's go college first, and what do you like around there?
Yeah, it was a tough week last week. I thought there were some really tough games. It was one of my weaker weeks. I was starting to get hot right there. So we're going to bounce back this week. There's a couple leans right now. I have not fired on a lot of games yet. I will here in the next day or so. One game I am eyeing up here as my voice goes, like Ryan said, I have done some shows here, is I like Louisville maybe at home against Duke. I think the Cardinals, this is a good spot. You have Leonard coming back. He came back last week against Florida State for Duke quarterback. Maybe he shouldn't have. He struggled. He was 7 out of 16, 69 yards, 1 pick in that game. Now, he's day-to-day. The backup, I don't think, is a great thrower here. They can run the ball, but Louisville's not bad stopping the run. I like this team. They're coming off a bye. Now, they lost to Pitt the week before, which was kind of a head scratcher, but it was in one of those spots that a lot of people like the Panthers in. I love the home field advantage. I love the head coach. I think he's a very good head coach. Plummer, the quarterback, just watch the INTs. Don't turn the ball over. Has 8 so far this year. I like their wide receivers. You have Thrash that had 9 catches, 120 yards against Pitt. Callaway's another one that had some good numbers against Pitt. I think they're going to be able to score some points. I don't know if Duke can. And even with Leonard there, I just don't know how healthy is this guy. I think it's a good spot. I saw it. I think it was at -4.5. I kind of like that. I am leaning right now the Louisville Cardinals this weekend.
There you go. And this is a good time. I want to jump right in here, Stevie, and talk about something. Most of you guys that are watching this show probably already do this, but at the college level, certainly, and you don't have to do it for all 120 teams, but maybe the top ones that you're looking at. Find the fan sites, find the blogs, because you're not getting any sort of injury updates like the NFL. But if you go, and this is not an endorsement for a specific one, but the Locked On and then whatever school you're looking for podcast, Locked On Texas Tech, Locked On Louisville, whatever. Those are great resources. They're typically free. You can get in there. They do a great job, I think, on the college level of giving you just a little bit more insight when you can go on a Friday and see what they're talking about and see what some of the injuries are. And in college football, Stevie, I know you know this to be true. That injury information is gold if you can find it in the right places. It's actionable information, as we like to say.
It's very golden if you happen to get it before the odds makers get it. That's the key, and that's very difficult to do. And it's a funny thing because I was reading Billy Walters' book, and back in the 80s and 90s, it's interesting. He had a guy that he would pay to run to the airport every day and grab all the newspapers off the planes from different cities to get the local sports writers info on what's going on with teams and injuries and stuff. Because back then, the internet wasn't around. So you had to really do a lot more research to get the information. So that was pretty interesting. I thought that was a clever chapter when I read that. But yeah, I mean, the injury information is very important, but you got to know how to use it, and you also have to know if there's an overreaction to it with the line, because sometimes people take it and bet it and bet it and bet it and bet it, and then it becomes too much. So, every player has a value, especially in the NFL. Every player is worth so many points. And, you can also find that value on the other side of the injury, so you kind of got to have an open mind when you're looking at injuries. That's very key.
That's a good point. On a lot of handicappers will assign players a certain point value. I think a lot of fans would be shocked at how so many players don't derive any value whatsoever. That we overinflate, I think, on that sometimes what a player might be worth. There are some that are actually worth it. Let's go down to Stevie. What are we looking at college right now as we sit here kind of mid to late week?
I don't want to disclose the play but I'm looking at a game this week. And as I mentioned on the podcast we did a few days ago, when I was talking about some new and exciting changes to the site, we're going to offer a money back guarantee, best bet of the week. And we're not going to have it every week, because there's just some weeks that the piece of the puzzle is not going to fit, and we're not going to force it, because we don't want to have to give you your money back, but we will if we honor it. So, we're honest. We're definitely going to honor what we say, but, we want to make sure that we don't have to go through that aggravation. So we're going to be very selective. And in this play when I give out a money back guarantee, it's a play that I'm going to be betting at least 5,000 on. So, and I know a lot of guys in this business don't gamble. They just give picks out. And that's one thing I can assure you. Yes. Whatever we giving you, we are betting. I don't give picks out unless I'm betting them, and I bet them good. So just have comfort knowing that. So, I have a game. It's an SEC game, and it's something that I really see that I really like a lot. It's I think it's a really good spot. So that's one thing that I'm looking at. And there's a few other spots that I like, not as much, but that's what I have going forward for the weekend in college. And I have a couple NFL games, but NFL is getting tough, guys. It's just the lines are getting real tight right now, and it's getting hard. So we just got to kind of tread lightly with the NFL right now.
You see, guys, I tried to get Stevie to give a little bit away, there. I tried to get him, but he's too disciplined. He did, though, just to give you a great piece of advice. One of the huge advantage you guys have as bettors over the house is you don't have to bet every game. They have to hang a number on every game. You don't have to bet it. You always have that option, and that is a big advantage that you have. Let's look a little bit at the NFL. Smitty is the teaser king, and we're talking about some of these numbers getting tough and tight. This time of year, do you find yourself looking at some of those teasers that it makes a little bit of sense to build some insurance in that way?
I love teasers. I had a really good weekend. I had a great NFL weekend last week, 9-4, and I do like playing teasers here. And I think there's some really good spots for some teasers this weekend.
9-4, not bad. 4-1, by the way, for Sharp Angle Syndicate customers on Sunday. We'll not speak of Monday night and the Vikings and the San Francisco 49ers, but we will be very pleased with what went on Sunday. What about you, Steve? As the season goes along, do those numbers really get sharpened up that much? Does it get harder as the NFL goes along, or do we now know more about these teams that we're making more intelligent choices based on the data that we have?
Well, we know more, but the odds makers and the computers know more as well. So you pretty much answered your question. It's very, very difficult this time of the year. I mean, the value in any sport is always in the first 4 or 5 weeks, but as time goes on, it gets tougher. And in the NFL especially, because the NFL is normally the toughest sport. Most odds makers will tell you that. Most bookies will tell you that. Most bettors will tell you that if they know what they're doing. NFL they're not giving anything away in the NFL. That's why if you go to the Mirage they'll limit you to maybe 25,000 on a college football game, but they'll take 300,000 on the NFL. That's not a coincidence, guys. That's they put their backs against the wall and say, "Come on, world, come get you some." So there's a reason that they don't turn down bets in the NFL. It's a tough gig, as Jimmy Vaccaro would say.
One of the things I want to talk about, and this applies college and NFL right now, is here we are towards the end of October, November. We're finally about to start getting some weather games. And Smitty, I'll throw it to you. How much of that do you track during the week, or do you just want to wait till you're about 24 hours out? Do you ever look early in the week on a college or NFL game and say, hey, this extended forecast may be giving me something that I want to look at, or it may give me pause to wait and see where we are?
Yeah, I try to always keep an eye on it. And it can change. I mean, you know how weather is. I mean, it can change. But I mean, like we've said before, you got to look for that wind. That's the key. The wind games are the ones you got to keep an eye on. Rain sometimes not going to mean much. Snow sometimes too. Everybody always thinks if it's snowing, it's going to really change a lot. Sometimes it doesn't. The wind factor is big, especially over 10 or higher. I mean, you get over in that 10, that can really change the thing. So keep an eye on that. There's one that I did write down. I got to dive into this a little bit more. I just saw it. I saw Cincinnati against San Francisco, and they said something maybe about 20-mile-per-hour winds in that one. So that's one that I kind of jotted down. I want to dive in a little bit and do the hourly and see where we go. And again, that's a game that a lot of injuries are happening. You saw it today. Purdy was put in the concussion protocol. Sam Darnold's going to get his first start now. A guy that has quarterback there. Can this San Francisco team lose 3 in a row? I don't know. You got your Debo. Is the Samuels come back in this too? Sam, I think, can step in and do an okay job with this, but that's something to keep an eye on with the wind and with some of the injuries in that game.
Stevie, do you pay? I know you pay attention to the weather, but how much do you factor that in as the week goes on when you're looking at games?
I mean, it's something to notice. You can kind of like put a little check and see, but I would not bet a game on a Thursday on a forecast for Saturday, because it can change in a hurry. And I saw it this week. I don't remember what game it was, but they were supposed to have a lot of wind and bad weather, and it wasn't. It didn't pan out. And Smitty mentioned that 10 miles an hour wind is a fact. I don't really worry about wind until it gets to like at least 15 to 20 mile an hour gusts. Then it becomes an issue, and especially swirling winds, because you don't know what direction they're going, and they give field goal kickers a very difficult time. So that's tough, and you see that a lot in Pittsburgh, Cleveland games in the wintertime.
Yeah,
so
takes us back to the old days, the Meadowlands and the swirling winds there for the Giants and the Jets and those kickers.
So
let's go back to some of the new features on the site and some of the new options that folks are going to have.
Well, like I said, we're going to do that money back guarantee. We're going to have, a few more promotions and promo codes out. Some of the package prices are increasing for obvious reasons. I mean, expenses on getting the site improvements and stuff have gone up, so we have to cover that. It's just there's going to be some more options. We're going to have a podcast page. We're going to try to put some more podcasts up. We finally have a web guy that we can work with that'll help us out, and we have a lot of confidence in him, and so that was a big asset to this whole operation. That's a tremendous thing. And going forward, we're gonna try different things. It's a trial and error thing. We're fairly new to the service industry world, but like I said, we've got a lot of experience betting and gambling, but we don't have a lot of experience in marketing and promoting the site and doing those things. So we kind of learn it as we go, but we definitely going to try a few different things to get this thing rolling good.
Smitty, you got any parting thoughts before we get out of here tonight?
No, I'm just really excited. I'm excited. I think this is a great opportunity. I think people really need to jump on board. We're going to get you winners. We've done it now for a long time. I'm excited. There's college basketball in 2 weeks ready to tip off. And it's tough at the beginning of the year, but I'm going to really fire away on that and try to find winners and try to make money for a lot of people.
Stevie, what about you? Final thoughts tonight?
No, man, this has just been a hectic couple weeks. We've been down for a couple weeks while we get the site rolling. I mean, it's taken some time out of my schedule. We've been working hard trying to get this thing back up and running. We see the finish line, and we should be back rolling by Friday. And hopefully you guys will get on and see this podcast Friday, and maybe sign up for this money back special that we're going to have for Saturday college football. I feel real good about it, and I think it'll pan out. Let's hope so. There's no guarantees in this business. That's why we're offering them money back, but I would like to think that this play should hit somewhere between 65 and 70% long term. And that's the goal.
That's strong medicine right there. It's good to have everybody back together. For Stevie, for Smitty, I'm Ryan Hyatt. We will see you guys very soon with another Sharp Angle